Resolution 10-09-48, authorizing modification to the contract with Skanska USA Building Incorporated for the Rockwood 188th Avenue Max Station Reconstruction Project. Mr. Gentleman.
Yes, as you may know, we have a major project underway to redevelop a new station. This actually consolidates both directions of max platform access west of 188th in the Rockwood neighborhood. The funds for this came from really two sources. One is a Connect Oregon grant that we submitted together with the City of Gresham and were successful in achieving. Second is funds from the Gresham Urban Renewal District, again, an established district, and with these funds budgeted. We have, I think it's a very exciting improvement, great hoped for catalyst investment for the Rockwood Urban Renewal District, and have been really strongly partnered with the City of Gresham in achieving this. As we've gone through the project, there have been a number of changes that have come up. Really, the fundamental one was the definition of the artwork, which at City of Gresham's request, we let them handle as sort of a City of Gresham process. And they developed what I think will be a spectacular piece of art, but also one that required a great deal of underground footing work in order to be able to support it in what we all know are some like stiff East County winds at times. So that additional construction effort, together with just sort of the normal churn of small items associated with this overall construction effort, would require us to ask for some additional authority for this project. Again, funds primarily from Connect Oregon 2 and the Gresham Urban Renewal District, as well as $125,000 from TriMet capital funds, overall funding this overall package of great improvements that will total, I believe, when they're done, somewhere in the area of $3 million worth of additional investment in the MAX system. Been a great partnership with the City of Gresham. We'll have, I think, a great result here. But again, we're looking for additional authority of about $250,000 to see us through the construction. I might note that the contractor, which is Skanska, is an excellent contractor, one that we've worked with many times. We have just the greatest regard for their work, and they're being very fair with us in terms of pricing. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions. Questions?
Ben?
The ticket vending machines, are they the same, or are we putting in new ones here? The ticket vending, because we had that problem.
They are of the same vintage, but the budget did include the ability to include some, I think it was one, additional ticket vending machine that was of the new vintage that we put in with the green line. But it's good to think about the ticket vending machines almost like a light rail car. They move around from station to station because what happens is if something breaks down, you lift it up, move it off, put a new one on, and so they do tend to circulate throughout the system over time.
You're aware, and I think I know that we've had trouble with the ticket vending machines. And will they now be outside? You buy the ticket and then you'll go through that's part of this new station?
Exactly. And actually the artwork, when you see it, will actually, I think, emphasize that as well, that you're moving through a passageway into a paved area where, again, the TriMet police force as well as others can monitor the people who are there, making sure that they're there with paid fares and for legitimate public transit purposes.
Move it, Mr. Chairman.
One more question, Mr. General Manager. The City of Gresham, when they approved the art and it brought up the price to install it, was there any consideration from them that maybe this is not the right piece of art since the cost is going to go up and the impact that ran down? And then what is the City of Gresham itself doing to offset this cost?
Yes, well, absolutely, and there were changes. This is one of the nice things about the kind of contract we have with Skanska is that, for example, we were able to look at other ways to save cost at the same time that we emphasize this piece. And those conversations were had with the City of Gresham, and they were involved in the trade-offs associated with getting to the point that we are right now. At the end of the day, at think we all agree this is sort of the best outcome in terms of balancing the multiple objectives that any project will have.
Steve?
So with a contingency of $200,000, we had an anticipated contingency or cost overrun of just about 6.5%. But with this, we're going up to 15%, which seems like a large amount. It could have been even more, as you said. Skanska had altered their bid to save some money. In these times, as we imagine capital expenditures, and because we're in the ridership business, I think we have to have a test. Does it maintain existing service? Then that's a good thing. Does it increase or enhance existing service, and can we afford it? Well, that's a good thing. Or is it something that we simply would like to have simply because it would be nice? And this falls into the C, with the exception, and I'm sensitive to this because I've lived in Gresham, I work partially in Gresham. The East Side Light Rail line did not have the features of community enhancements that our other light rail lines have had. And for that reason, I would support this resolution. However, in the going forward, I would offer to us and our partners that I think we should go through, and we probably already do this, test number 1, does it maintain existing service? Test number 2, does it enhance or increase existing service? Or number 3, is it just something I'd like to have? And I would, going forward, be far more resistant to number C than ever before. And it sounds like I'm equivocating, except that we have not provided for the Mid-County and East Multnomah County to the degree that we have other portions of our district. So for that reason, I would support the resolution, given that I'll be tougher going forward.
A question on that, just clarification. I'm glad you're pointing that out, Steve. Is the contingency, is that the right percentage? Because I know, Neil, that you, on a project overall, in the past,
yes,
in this position, have been very careful to keep us well into that 5% as project overall.
Okay.
And during 15 and numbers like that.
There's a couple things. I don't know the percentage. I'm not quick enough with the math in my head. I'm looking to Dan to see if he has it. But
just did 450 from 3
yeah.
million.
So you just, this particular
But
item.
I would just note that this is also remodeling, which has a very different characteristic than new construction. And Board Member Schultz is absolutely right that when you look, for example, at our cost growth overall, for example, the green line, it's under 5%, probably more like 3%. So, which is, I think, not typical performance in public works, but nonetheless, I think what we would like to see as a general rule. But again, remodeling, it's sort of like when you remodel an old bathroom, you often will find things that you didn't expect that need to be fixed, and that's indeed part of the situation here. The other part is that there are characteristics of operating under traffic that are difficult sometimes to predict. So we don't have the option of closing the max line to construct this. We have to operate around traffic. That makes it very complicated as well. And
all of those factors Neil just described are correct. I would also say this is a smaller project, so the impact of the scope change, which this primarily is driven by an increase in the art scope, is going to create a larger percentage. But I would also point out that as that final art piece is being discussed and debated, we worked closely with City of Gresham, and City of Gresham did change their aspirations downward somewhat. They didn't want to have to do that, but they did that in order to land in this position. I think all the parties worked together to get the best project that we could, and whether it's an investment to meet Board Member Clark's third C test, I guess you'd have to question whether that's measured immediately now, or with the increased ridership that might come with spurring redevelopment in this area. And those are the kind of questions that we contemplate and debate every time in these sorts of situations.
I'm going to invite Ms. Sturgey up. I think she wanted to comment specifically on this resolution. She's on our public comment.
I do. One thing that's not mentioned, and that is that federal funding to go back on a line. Now, we're talking about what Gresham has put in and these other people, but you can get grants to go back and do construction. So he's coming to you for more money. What I've spoken before and said to Josh was, and I don't know, have you checked into the federal funding for that, and is it part of that?
Again, the 99%, I'm not exactly sure the percentage of the funding of this is not TriMet funds. These are funded by the Connect Oregon 2 grant, which is a state grant, and number 2, Gresham redevelopment funds. So no TriMet dollars for the most part, other than the 125 I mentioned, are in this.
Okay.
Now, in addition,
That's why I was
we've been
thinking.
called shameless, required, related to our advancement of federal grants. So we do take advantage of every opportunity we can see to achieve that.
I was just trying to make sure you, the board, knew that there is that other money that may be out there if we haven't applied for it.
I appreciate that. Are there other questions of the general manager regarding this resolution? If not, I would ask Lynn. Well, you took it out of my mouth. And we got a second? It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? The resolution carries.